Our flagship program, Wake Up Albany, has seen incredible success, followed by programs such as NewsNight, which you are watching now, shows such as Chit Chat, and Sports Report have seen incredible success. ATV is growing in tremendous strides, and next week, actually a week from today, we are going to be seeing the premiere of a lot of new ATV shows. We're giving you guys more and more programming. Be sure to check it out on Albany Television Channel 16 and 19, which are available to students on campus. You can check out After Hours with Joe Bonilla, our new late-night talk show. That will be on at 11:30. You can check out our new comedy news program that's called The Broth. That's available to you at midnight, like I said, all on Albany TV. And check out the premiere of the Super Awesome Music Show, which will be on at 12:30, all on Albany TV. And in case you miss it or you go to bed a little earlier than that, you can see all of this programming on ATV online at www.albany.edu/ATV.
So, Samuel L. Jackson has officially been confirmed to reappear as Nick Fury in Iron Man 2. Jackson has signed a 9-picture deal with Marvel Studios. Not only will this ensure that he will reprise his role as Nick Fury in the upcoming sequel, but he will likely do so in the spin-off Avengers films and a rumored solo film with teammates from S.H.I.E.L.D. This is one bit of news that hardly comes as a surprise, but it's a pretty big relief because, we all knew that Jackson pretty much wanted more money for his role, but there were a lot of casting mix-ups in this film because Terrence Howard isn't going to return as James Rhodes, and they switched it to Don Cheadle. Emily Blunt left, which leaves the character of Black Widow vacant, and Mickey Rourke reportedly had a yet-to-be-named role, but he also left. So Sam Jackson's exit as Nick Fury would have been a bit much to swallow for the sequel. I feel like 9 films is kind of a pretty big contract. It's pretty unheard of, especially since Sam Jackson is 60 years old, so I feel like...
Is he really that old?
Yeah, he's 60.
Wow,
but
he does not look it.
No, he
I know.
doesn't.
I wonder if he'll really take it that far, and if we even want him to. But my guess is that Marvel's probably trying to cover its bases because they're having so many problems with the casting swaps, and they're having trouble with the Incredible Hulk sequel. So they're probably just trying to keep as much continuity as they can by getting as many deals as they can. Yeah.
I think the most frustrating thing for me was seeing Terrence Howard drop off. He's Academy Award nominated, and I thought he was pretty good as the soon-to-be War Machine character. But I think Don Cheadle's good, but I really wish that they had the continuity. That would have been nice.
Okay, Washington State's Death with Dignity law will take effect this Thursday. Terminally ill patients with less than 6 months to live will be able to ask their doctors to prescribe them lethal medication. Although the law is in favor of the patient's right to choose, many could find their doctors hesitant or unwilling to prescribe the medication. Many doctors are uncomfortable discussing the issue publicly because of social issues. A 2006 Supreme Court ruling decided that it was up to the states to regulate medical practice, including assisted suicide. Washington is the second state, behind Oregon, to have a voter-approved measure allowing assisted suicide. Under the law, doctors and pharmacists are not required to write or fill lethal prescriptions if they are opposed to the law. Some hospitals are opting out of participation, which would prevent their doctors from participating on their property.
This is a very touchy subject.
Yes.
I know a lot of people feel a lot differently. Should people suffer? Is lethal injection wrong? What do you think?
I'm honestly not sure. I've heard both sides of the argument, and I guess it's up to the person. I honestly can't say what I would do in that situation.
I guess it's up to the choice, maybe?
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
No, it is a very tough call. In news around the world, the president of Guinea-Bissau has been assassinated Monday morning, a day after an explosion killed the head of West African country military. The Prime Minister of Guinea-Bissau, President, pardon me if I get this wrong, João Bernardo Vieira, 69, died. The death was confirmed by CNN. Early on Monday, gunfire and rocket explosions that lasted for about an hour were heard near the presidential palace in the capital of Bissau, according to local media. Looting was later reported at the presidential palace. Army spokesman Zamora Nduda said an aide to the president was killed during the gunfire. So the president of a country just blatantly assassinated. Um, um, the army of Guinea-Bissau is going to remain neutral until they have more information as to who is behind the assassination. But definitely sad news.
Yeah. According to a new report, the producers of Clint Eastwood's new movie starring Morgan Freeman have hired a private doctor to remain on set at all times to look after the two veteran stars. Freeman, who is 71, will play Nelson Mandela in the upcoming drama The Human Factor. He is allegedly being monitored after he was pretty seriously injured in a car crash in August that left him with a broken arm and shoulder and a paralyzed hand. Movie bosses also wanted to make sure that Eastwood, who is now 78, is looked after during filming. A source tells the New York Daily News that there's a huge budget for the film at stake. These guys are getting up there in age. Sure, they had physicals before leaving, because everyone has to, but the private doctor was just an agreed-upon decision on all sides of the table. I thought the quote sounded a little cold because they're acting like they're just money and not people.
Yeah.
But I don't think Morgan Freeman actually looks that old. I don't think he looks like he's 70.
He's aging better than Clint Eastwood.
I was say
is.
Clint Eastwood looks like
yes,
he's 78.
definitely.
Morgan Freeman doesn't look as old, but I feel like it's probably just a precaution because Clint Eastwood looked like he was doing pretty well in Gran Torino, and again, Morgan Freeman doesn't look like he's that old.
I think the acting was there for Clint Eastwood, but I definitely felt like he's definitely aging a lot quicker than a lot of people probably would have anticipated.
Well, I mean, he's 80, and he looks like he's 80, but I think he's doing pretty well for an 80-year-old.
No, he's
Probably.
definitely very well.
All right. The White House has become the place to be on Wednesdays since the Obamas moved into it. Musical guests are there to perform for dinners, ceremonies, middle schoolers, and just about everything. This seems to hold with the couple's promise to make the White House more open to the people. President Obama was reported to say that we are just temporary occupants. This is a place that belongs to the American people, and we want to make sure that everybody understands it's open. And it actually has been, and not just on Wednesdays. There's been a lot of musical guests. They've had 7th and 8th graders come in. It's been a really, I guess, fun place to be. And the hosts aren't like, I guess, what they call drive-by hosts. They actually go in and they talk to everybody there.
You ever been?
No, I haven't, but
You?
I really want to.
I was when I was 8 years old, and I got to go in the green room and all these different areas of the White House. It's an incredible place.
Yeah,
But it's awesome that it's more open now under the Obama administration.
Apparently they even had a conga line the other night for going in the White House. I thought that was interesting.
Obama at the front, maybe?
No, I think he went to bed. They started it after he left. So.
Couldn't handle the conga line.
Well, probably some of the biggest news over the past couple of days has been the Coast Guard and the search for two NFL players and 2 college football players that have gone missing. Their boat has gone missing off the Florida Gulf Coast. NFL players Corey Smith and Marcus Cooper, and 2 players from the University of Florida have gone missing. The search has gone on for days now, trying to keep any hope alive of seeing if they can find anyone or any wreckage that would indicate possibly where the players are stranded at sea. But hopeful news today, as the Coast Guard has found a person clinging to an overturned boat off of Florida's Gulf Coast, but they could not immediately confirm whether it was the same boat carrying NFL players Corey Smith and Marcus Cooper and the 2 University of Florida players. A source close to the situation, who spoke with ESPN.com, said the Coast Guard has secured Nick Schuyler. Schuyler has been confirmed as one of the University of Florida players that was on the boat. And the search is continuing for not only the boat, but most obviously the 3 other football players. The St. Petersburg Times has reported that Schuyler's family has been notified by the Coast Guard that Schuyler was found alive and is talking, so he is doing well. Schuyler is en route, as of now, to a Tampa area hospital, and when he was asked for a reaction, basically 4 words. It was like, God heard me. So, really, really miraculous news coming from the Gulf Coast next to Florida, that Nick Schuyler, the University of Florida player, is doing okay. Hopefully he can give the authorities some type of information that will enable the search to continue and be more accurate in finding Corey Smith, Marcus Cooper, and other University of Florida football player. So hopefully in the next few days we hear better news.
Hopefully find everybody else. I haven't heard that story. That's
Yep.
intense.
So hopefully, apparently there's a lot of storms going on right there.
Yeah, it was
Right now,
scary, sadly.
the waves are about, they were at times about 15 feet high, and the amazing current said, basically they said that over a 750 square mile area the boat could be.
Oh.
So that's a lot of area to search, especially open water when you could possibly be looking for like one body or
Yeah.
two bodies or even just a piece of wreckage. So hopefully the search is a little bit more accurate now that they have Schuyler.
I'll say maybe
safe.
maybe to help them out. Hopefully, absolutely.
Absolutely.
In some other news, the band members of MGMT are apparently suing French President Nicolas Sarkozy after the UMP party used their song Kids in a few videos. The party initially offered a gesture of compensation of only €1 to the band, which was promptly rejected. MGMT's lawyer has said that this offer is disrespectful to the rights of artists and authors. It is insulting. And ironically enough, Sarkozy demands tougher penalties for online piracy and file sharing. And I mean, if you're going to be so against things like online piracy and file sharing, and you're really going to offer a band €1, that's the
Yeah.
same as taking it for free. That's an absolute joke and a slap in the face. I would be just as mad as this band is.
Yeah.
That was,
Actually, I actually like MGMT. I don't know if you ever hear some of that music.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, they are. They're a little eccentric, but they're good. Wow. I mean, this whole piracy thing that's going on, with stopping file sharing. I mean, that's going to take a lot more than one person speaking their voice,
Yeah.
because everyone does it.
most people do.
Most people
Let's
do.
say that. Alright, I'm sure we all remember the events that took place at Guantanamo Bay, but an investigation into the CIA's interrogation techniques has proven surprising. The CIA at first denied that any records of interrogations existed, then later admitted that there were a few dozen tapes made. However, they claim that these tapes were destroyed. New evidence now puts that the few dozen that they claimed is actually almost 100. 92 tapes of terrorist interrogations were reportedly destroyed by the CIA. The investigation is ongoing, fueled by the American Civil Liberties Union. Of course, this case is also a bit tricky because the names of agents cannot be revealed, and many can't be contacted either to speak at the trial. So, and you don't even know that these are just 92 tapes. Perhaps they weren't destroyed. Perhaps there are more. CIA keeps changing their story, so we may never know.
Yeah, it sounds like the information they have is a little bit more accurate than the information we have, and they're obviously, being a little touchy with what information gets out about this.
Oh, yeah.
For Albany news, a week ago today, Albany men's basketball team was tied for 5th place in the America East Conference standings. They were in a 3-way tie with UMBC and the University of New Hampshire. And coincidentally, they had 2 games left, and by sheer fun of chance, their final 2 games were against UMBC and the University of New Hampshire, the 2 teams that they were tied with. So it definitely created an opportunity for the Great Danes to seize the 5th seed, possibly the 4th seed in the America East Conference, with defeating those 2 teams. Unfortunately, they were both on the road. But today, unfortunately, I have to report that Albany lost both of those games and have fallen to 7th place in the America East Conference standings as the regular season has now officially concluded. The America East Conference tournament will be in Albany at Q Arena. Unfortunately, as the 7th seed, they draw the Albany Great Danes draw the 2nd seed in the conference. That is the University of Vermont, probably considered a favorite. They are the number 2 seed behind Binghamton, but Vermont has the big game experience, the players that have been there before. So Vermont was probably the one team that Albany really wanted to avoid. For those of you who probably remember, who were at Big Purple Growl, Vermont was the team that handed Albany a loss at the huge event of the year. So very, very tough task on Saturday at noon. The University of Albany men's basketball team will be taking on Vermont. Maybe a little bit revenge after Big Purple Growl, maybe a little bit. But that'll be very interesting. We'll have coverage of that. You can see it on ATV programs like Newsnight, but be sure to check out Sports Report and for coverage, highlights, and analysis of the America East Basketball Conference Championships. So that does it for this episode of Newsnight. I'm JB Buno.
I'm Noelle Webster.
And I'm Manon James.
Thank you for tuning in, and have an excellent night.